What is up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Behind the Wall presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. That's right, we got a brand new sponsor for the 2020 campaign, and what better than a tasty adult beverage? 2 out of 3 of us enjoy it a hell of a lot. The other loser drinks water and enjoys the occasional Diet Cranberry Ginger Ale. Now that loser, we all know, it's Thermite 917. He's here alongside Kane Jr. 88 and myself, Probo 43. We've had a long off season to recharge the batteries, and we're back to nail down everything from Daytona Speedweeks. So let's kick it off with those race ratings. Kane, you got the full scoop on the Busch Clash. Tell us all about it.
Sure thing. So, the Busch Clash was way better than last year's absolute atrocity. There was some actual racing for once, instead of just a single-file choo-choo on the high side. So, for that reason, we give it a 7 out of 10. We'll cover it more later on in the podcast. Now we move on to the Great American Race, the 62nd running of the Daytona 500. Nick, what is the rating there?
Thank you, Kane. That's going to get a 7 out of 10 as well. Obviously, rain ruined everyone's mood on Sunday, but once they got going on a bright and sunny Monday, everyone got settled in and began to plan their strategy. There was some single-file choo-choo, of course, not too much, but enough to make things drag out a bit. As usual, things slowly began to ramp up throughout the race. First, there was the William Byron crash in Stage 1, then Quinn Houff crashed in Stage 2. It wasn't until lap 185 that we finally had the big one, which predictably came as a result of a bad bump draft. That collected about 20 cars.
A little bit of movement, when you make that much contact, turns your car right around. That's exactly what happened to Brad Keselowski and the 10 of Almirola.
After another big crash right near the end, they went into overtime, and there were plenty attempts to tandem draft once again. That led to a dramatic finish with Ryan Newman flipping through the tri-oval after getting slammed in the driver's side window while being upside down. It was an absolute worst-case scenario, and it sent him to the hospital with serious injuries. Obviously, we're all praying for him and hope he makes a speedy recovery. When the dust settled, though, Denny Hamlin won his 3rd Daytona 500 in 5 years, and he's the first driver in 25 years to win it back-to-back. It was also the second closest finish in Daytona 500 history. It was overshadowed by the wreck, of course, but overall it was still a pretty solid race. Was it great? I'm not totally sure about that, but it certainly had some very memorable moments, and that's why it gets a 7 out of 10. Just a quick summary on some of the stats. There were 9 cautions for 39 laps, 24 lead changes, and that margin of victory in the photo finish was 14 one-thousandths of a second.
Have you ever?
A little bit.
I might have.
Yeah, it was a pretty up and down speed weeks, but of course, as always, we come out with some memories, so that'll do it. 2020 is off to a interesting start. And we're back with the awards segment, man. I've been waiting for this since the last episode, and let's hand out a hell of a lot of them. So we're starting off with that classic Boner of the Week. We actually have 2 of them, so Kane, get us started.
Sure thing. The first boner goes to Brad Keselowski, who during first practice for qualifying on the Saturday before the Clash, he hit the fence while exiting the garage area because he was trying to avoid hitting a car in front of him that hit the brakes all of a sudden, and well, Brad didn't see it in time, and he ended up clipping the end of the fence and completely tearing up the right side of his car. The door itself wasn't damaged too horribly, but the side skirt and the jack post were just completely ripped apart, and the crew spent 4+ hours getting it fixed in time so he could go out and qualify. Wow. You'd expect to see this from a rookie, but from a veteran, a former champion like Brad, that's just unheard of. Anyways, moving on to the next boner. Nick?
This one goes to the Penske pit snafu in the first dual race, and ultimately it ended up costing Daniel Suarez a spot in the Daytona 500. Now, this was a little ridiculous. We've seen pit mistakes before at the restrictor plate tracks, and obviously we know teamwork is a big part of getting to the front and having a shot to win these things. So all of the Penske guys, except one, got the memo that they were going to pit around the halfway point. Keselowski waved his hand out the window, but he didn't see it fast enough, so when they slowed down, he tried to swerve. And then on the outside of him, he kind of got sandwiched because Blaney was like, oh crap, my teammates are pitting, can't lose them. So he kind of slowed down and parked the bus right in front of Suarez, and Danny had nowhere to go, collected himself and Ryan Blaney, but Suarez obviously got the worst of it. He was knocked out, obviously frustrated. said he's getting tired of this, and obviously had to go home, unfortunately. Not sure he would have had a big shot in the race anyway, being with Gaunt Brothers now, but still a heartbreaker. You hate to see it. And moving on to the next award, we have a few of them in this category. What is it, Tyler?
Oh, you know, it's the Days from Hell! Woo! Jeremy Clements! He had a big old day full of just fire. His hood flies off, knocked the damn roof hatch loose. I mean, it's just like his entire car was not bolted together and held on by a piece of string. Just all of a sudden just totally falling apart. It's like, what's happening here? You know, great job by the crew, you know, installing some safe stuff. You know, check your hood latches next time, dumbasses. But they ended up losing multiple laps, and he ended up getting plowed into Justin Allgaier late in the race just to top off a very poor day. You know, Jeremy, he's one of our favorite, you know, kind of semi-mid-packer, but not all the time. Great guy. Would have had a good shot at a real nice finish, but it was not to be. Like I said, build a better car next time. I mean, Jesus, I just don't understand how that happens, but your sponsor really topped off the incident well, too. The vehicle became a repairable one. So, great job, guys. You had a day from hell. But we have another one, also from the Xfinity Series, that managed to be a little bit worse than that.
Yes, we did. Mr. Mellon, Ross Chastain, he is going to be running the full season this year in the number 10 for Colic Racing. Unfortunately, the season got off to a very bad start when a mechanical issue with his brakes caused him to DNQ the race along with his teammate AJ Allmendinger in the number 16. Fortunately for Ross, Colic was able to buy the number 38 car from Ryan Sieg's team that Jeff Green had managed to get into the field, and they were able to get the car all wrapped in the Nutrien Ag Solutions paint scheme. And well, Ross had a decent run going, and then during the third stage, he hit another car on pit road, just destroyed the right front corner of the car, and it ended up cutting down a right front tire later on in the race, and he ended up stumbling to the finish in 22nd place. After the run he had in July at Daytona, it's just sad. I mean, we all love Ross. We know what he's capable of, but this is just not how he wanted to get this season started. Hopefully better things are to come for Mr. Mellon, because we know he wants to keep that cigar shop stocked and ready. So, good luck to you, Ross. Moving on to the next award.
Thank you, Kane. And for the first time in 2020, we have the Straight Jacket Award! And it goes to the Busch Clash. Oh my God, this race was about as crazy as you could get. There were 5 cautions for 21 laps. Now, you might not think that was a huge deal. One of those was for the competition caution, after all. They were fairly calm for the first half of the race, but inside 10 to go, all hell broke loose. So the first one around lap 67 was caused when Kyle Busch and Joey Logano tangled. Another bad block there. We've seen plenty of those not go well at restrictor plate tracks. This was another case that collected Brad Keselowski. He was not happy with Logano. Then, right on that restart, we think, well, let's get going, let's get settled in and have a good run to the finish. But no, half the field decides to just spin their tires and wreck on the front stretch. I don't think we got an official word on this ever, but I believe a lot of sources were saying that there was oil on the track from Keselowski's previous incident. But that was just a huge mess. You usually don't see that kind of drama on a restart at a plate track. But then they got going again. A couple laps later, we had a more traditional big one when Denny Hamlin cut his tire into turn 3. That collected a bunch. And it was like, well, there's no cars left. How can they possibly wreck a car? Oh my God, there they go again. Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott got together and collected Eric Jones, who ultimately went on to win the damn race with a car that was ready for the junkyard. It looked like Terry Labonte's hit at Bristol. I mean, this whole front end was all squished up. They even had a picture to kind of pay tribute to that classic finish with Terry and Dale. But, man, you wouldn't think a car like that could win at a plate race. So, yeah, multiple overtimes extended the race that was normally going to be 75 laps into 88 laps. There were 14 lead changes total. 5 cars finished on the lead lap. Only 6 finished total out of the 18 that started. So, holy crap, you guys were all freaking crazy! Ah! And moving on to the cigars, obviously we have to have a bunch of them. Tyler, kick them off. What do you got?
Oh, you know, we're taking a trip down to Mr. Mellon Man's cigar shop Well, he might not be getting one for himself this week, but hey, the doors are wide open, and we got to give a big box set to the entire running of the 2020 Next Era 250 at Daytona. First of all, trucks. We know they're kick-ass. We love it. We were looking forward to that race, and my God, we got one of the best truck races maybe ever. It was damn close to definitively being the best one. So that's where we start. Grant Enfinger, he wins the race. It was a semi-controversial move. Some people are calling it dirty, this and that, blah, blah, blah. We don't see it as that. He did what he needed to do to win the race. It actually reminds me of an incident from 2012. I remember when Cale Gale smashed the living shit out of Kyle Busch to win a race at Homestead. And you know what? Nobody really batted an eye that night. And that was a lot worse than this. So I'm just saying, that's an example. But he did what he needed to do, had a great race. ThorSport gets themselves a win right off the bat. They only had one in the entirety of last year. Good start for them. But obviously, the guy that stole everybody's hearts was the second place finisher, and he gets a big juicy cigar for himself. Jordan Anderson. He ran a beautiful race. He was up there in the front, so it's not like he was in the back all night just kind of riding around. No, but then he knew, hey, I got to get the hell out of here before that wreck strikes. And when it did very late, he was in prime position with a truck that had no scratches on it. Made some brilliant moves and had a chance to win the race. But either way, he comes home with a career best. And, well, like I said, he stole everybody's hearts with a hell of an interview as well.
There's not too many opportunities. I'm getting to see the replay here for the first time that you get to go for your win. Hey, Grant, what are you doing door slamming me, man? I'm almost speechless for words. I got on Grant's bumper there coming off a 4 and got a good run. I'm like, man, this is like NASCAR Thunder 2003 all over again. I'm like, I can do this. And I pushed him out of the way. I'm like, I thought we had it. But this is... To try to put into words what this means for our team, I had to move some money around this winter just to get through to buy this truck, and we knew that we needed to bring the best truck we could, and this sport isn't easy, and I love NASCAR. I love this sport. This is what NASCAR is about, man, and to do this for every single one of my guys and everybody that's supported us from the biggest sponsor to the smallest sponsor. I know I'm talking more than I should. FS1, Mark Smith, I'm sorry, but, man, I love you guys. This is... Daytona, we almost won! You've earned it, buddy. Let's go to victory lane.
Cody Rohrbaugh, the third place finisher. He also gets a cigar. This is a rare thing because he normally loves mulch. He just finds his way into a patch of mulch. And he did spin out earlier in the race, but somehow he still managed to finish. So it's like, wow, Cody, you didn't suck that time. Derek Kraus, we'll even give him a cigar. You know, he's one of the rising stars for the truck series, going to run a full season in that 19 truck. Current career best. I expect it to get even better in the near future. Fifth place finisher. Hell has frozen over because Natalie Decker didn't wreck. Holy shit.
Oh my God!
I mean, yeah, okay, she ran around in the back the entire race, and, well, she could have been Angela Ruck, who wrecked and looked like a dumbass, but she was not. It's a career best. We're proud of her. Great job. Get a lipstick or something if you don't want a cigar. Either way, you did something good. Let's go down to the final top 10 finisher. Jason White. No, not that one. It's Canadian Jason White. Have yourself some ham, eh? He shouldn't have even made it in the damn race in the first place. He was slow as hell, but he gets a top 10. Good for you, man. But to top it all off, what an amazing truck race. So many great saves. Of course, the big one happened, but that was inevitable. Either way, we saw a fantastic event and got the truck season off to a damn near perfect start. So great job, everybody. Smoke 'em up. All right, let's move on to Xfinity.
Sure thing. Noah Gragson finally gets his first career win in the Xfinity Series. That's the third straight win from the season opener at Daytona for Junior Motorsports. And my God, the celebration was simply amazing. He said he wanted to copy what he did playing video games back in the day. And he freaking did it. He goes and climbs the fence like Elio Castroneves and Tony Stewart. Although this time he did not hurl like he did at Martinsville when he won in the Truck Series. Before that, he set the track on fire doing his burnout. That was freaking badass. And then he goes and slides across the hood of his car just like he's one of the damn Duke boys. Or just like how he's going to slide into some girl's DMs after this race, because God knows he did. Anyways, congratulations to Noah. He's definitely going to be living this down for a long-ass time. Anyways, moving on, Timmy Hill. That's right, Timmy Hill comes home third. I mean, what? He finishes third driving for NBM Motorsports. Wow. Considering earlier in the day that they received an L2 penalty for adding Bondo to the nose of their car. What the hell was that all about? Fortunately, they got the car fixed and still somehow finished in the top 5. That's amazing. Congratulations, Timmy. Next up, Brandon Brown picks up his best career finish, finishing in 7th in the number 68. Our Hard Lemonade isn't as good as Mike's Chevrolet. Okay, that's pretty damn impressive. Congratulations to Brandon.
Alright.
And then Ray Black Jr. He didn't junk it this time. He finished in 8th. Wow, man, that's... I'm speechless. I mean, it's fucking Ray Black Jr. He always chunks his damn car at Daytona, but somehow this weekend he did it. It's a miracle. Not as big of a miracle as Natalie Decker finishing top 5, but still, it's a damn miracle. Congratulations, Ray. And now we move on to our Daytona 500 cigars. Nick, take it away.
Thank you, Kane. And our first Cup cigar goes to, obviously, Denny Hamlin. Got his second Daytona 500 in a row and his third in 5 years, as I mentioned before. Won that in an incredibly dramatic photo finish. I know some fans are probably getting on him for celebrating, whatever, not knowing about Ryan Newman. But, you know, he said he disconnected the radio. He didn't know the severity of the crash until victory lane. Joe Gibbs didn't even know. So he was really classy about that, apologized, gave his well wishes to Newman, even visited him in the hospital after the race before he went to New York City to do media. But, man, he ran a hell of a race, led a race-high 79 laps, was the car to beat the entire event, and just got it done. He had no help from the other Toyotas. He was the lone Yoda out there, and he made all the right moves, got to victory lane. Congratulations to him. Our next Cup cigar goes to David Reagan. This might be his final Daytona 500 ever. We thought he retired, but no, he came back for this one-off and actually came home P4 with that Front Row Motorsports Select Blinds paint scheme. Our next cigar goes to Brendan Gaughan. Got 7th. This is also his final Daytona 500. Oh my God, this guy always appears in the super speedways and ends up pulling a great finish out of his ass. And man, he just avoided all the carnage, got it done. If you didn't like him already and all his crazy antics, just look at this clip of him jumping out of the safety truck during the pre-race. It's frickin' Simone Biles, just doing all this gymnastics and stuff. He's a large dude, let's face it. And for him to do something that athletic, that was pretty damn impressive. So congrats to Brendan Gaughan in both regards there. Great run and great skill physically. All right, that's kind of weird. But our final cigar for the Cup Series goes to Corey LaJoie. Obviously was part of that huge wreck with Ryan Newman, but he still brought it home in position number 8. That 32 Go Fast Racing car, obviously a little underfunded, but he avoided all the carnage up until then and brought it home with a nice top 10. Man, just so many cigars this weekend. Obviously, with being Daytona, we always expect that to be the case, but this was just an insane weekend. Plenty of ups, plenty of downs, but a lot of memories, like Tyler said earlier. But we have one final award to give out. We can't forget this one. What is it, and who does it go to?
Well, thank you for the lovely introduction, Nick. And for the first time in 2020, we're giving out a crying towel. And who the hell do you think it goes to? It goes to Mother Nature. This bitch. I'm not even going to go on very long about it because she don't deserve it, okay? But the point is, she tried to ruin our fun. She intervened several times, including the day of the biggest damn race of the year, delaying it twice on Sunday and eventually canceling it into Monday. So many people had to go home because of it. Imagine spending all that money and time for nothing. All because it rained in the damn state of Florida. I swear to God, I hate Florida. There's like 3 things that happen in Florida. Prices get jacked up, old people, and rain. That's what happens in Florida. Okay? Fuck this state, and fuck you, Mother Nature. Get your towel and stop pissing everywhere. God! We had enough of it. I mean, yeah, that and, that self-proclaimed greatest place on earth and whatever, get your friggin' $25 cups and $7 waters. Go to hell, Disney World. Nobody likes you.
We're just bitter because they got rid of the racetrack there.
Exactly. That's
Exactly.
where our disappointment lies. Don't say anything more. Kane, don't cry.
How come you're not crying?
Ah! Damn it!
God damn it, Mother Nature!
Bitch.
Let's just go with that.
Sure. Alright, it is that time once again this year to get into the best paint schemes of the week. We have 3 of them from all of Speedweeks. Let's enjoy the montage, guys. And of course, got 3 disgusting ones from Speedweeks. Tyler, kick it off.
Oh, do I really have to? Well,
Yes.
yes, I do. And with displeasure, it's Eric Almirola's pure farmland car from the Clash. Whoa. Oh. I'm trying to hold my dinner back right now. This is bad, okay? First of all, it comes off as a test car. Like, there's just absolutely nothing to it. You have a blue stripe on the bottom, and then you have a real thin-ass green stripe that goes above it, and the rest of the thing's white, and it's just like totally nothing. The pure farmland is huge on the hood, and then small as hell on the quarter panel. We have seen this kind of thing plenty of times where it's just like it kicks the sponsor more to the quarter panel area rather than just kind of nicely spread it across the side, and you'll end up having this abundance of white space on an already horrifically white car. The numbers are terrible. They don't work with this at all. Like, I really can't even say anything else other than the leaves on there are probably poisonous. This car better never see the light of day again. It got trashed, deservingly so. Let's keep it that way. Don't come back. Next scheme.
The next scheme is also from the Clash. It's Kyle Busch's fucking trophy Toyota. Now, it's the normal M&M's paint scheme that we've seen him run numerous times over the years, but this time it's got a little addition added to it. The freaking championship trophy, or excuse me, no, is it now the Bill France Cup is what they're calling it? Oh my god! This is totally something he would do. He's gotta freaking fuel his damn ego by putting the goddamn trophy on the side and then putting, CHAMP18N on the back of the car, like, it spells out champion with number 18 in it. It's like, god damn it. I knew Kyle was a douchebag, but god damn, he's just proving it even more right now. Oh my god. Thank god he blew up during the Daytona 500, because, god, could you imagine him finally getting the one victory that's eluded him for 16 years or whatever it is? Oh my god. And this paint scheme was just freaking awful. I am so done talking about this, but, oh wait, we have one more to talk about. Nick, what is it?
Oh my god. It's Jimmy Johnson's ally Chevy Camaro. Now, at the beginning of every season, Hendrick Motorsports has a chance to get their heads out of their ficuses and come out with something good. Last year, Jimmy had a terrible ally paint scheme. It said do it right on the side. Well, it doesn't say it anymore because, well, they finally realized they didn't do it right and they're not going to anytime soon. They added some freaking shades of purple parallelograms on the sides. That's a mouthful. And that did not really help its case. Sure, maybe it looks a little faster, but it just doesn't really add to any of the design. It's still on a black background with yellow numbers. It still looks like a test car that just has a little bit more spice to it, but it's not the good kind of spice. It's like adding too much cumin to a freaking pepper or something like that. Like, I don't even know what that would taste like, but I don't want to taste it. But right now, I'm looking at it, so my eyes are kind of tasting it. That's disgusting to think about. And if you're wondering, yes, Brendan Dropo designed it. Last year, Jimmy had a lot of say in it. This year, I think Brendan probably had more of a say on it. It did not help matters, of course. I don't know what's wrong with this guy still, but this paint scheme still has plenty of problems. It still has the stupid retro-looking gradient thing going on the hood where it's like impossible to read the Ally text. Just stop it. This company has decent enough colors to work with, but they keep putting them in the wrong ways. Oh my god, I can't stand it.
And this is what Jimmy gets to drive during his final season.
Yeah, seriously, it's like they didn't even care. They didn't want to commemorate anything. They might have a throwback at some point this year that's also badly done. But yeah, it's not a proper send-off.
Ass. Alright, now it's time for the fantasy recap, and we're back for the 4th season fantasy. And this year we decided to change the spectrum totally, so no more individual picks. Granted, there will be special occasions where that does happen, and we did even do so for the Clash, but now we are having a team of 5 drivers. So each of us, the 3 here and our honorary 4th guest, Mr. Damani HD, will all have a team of 5. We divided the drivers in tiers, so there's tier 1, 2, and 3. They were determined from the 2019 final Cup Series standings. So the tier 1 is 2 top 10 drivers, tier 2 is 11th through 20th, and tier 3 is 1 from everybody else on the table. We did a little kind of mini draft, kind of like you'd see in a NFL fantasy league. So we actually had the reverse order from the final Behind the Wall fantasy standings last year. So I had the first overall pick, but then I was last in the second round, just giving the general consensus of what we did. But Kane, he has the teams. He's going to read them off and the results from week number 1. So take it away.
Sure thing. So Tyler's team consists of old Dickface himself, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch. He has both of the Busch boys. Ryan Newman, and rookie Cole Custer was his tier 3 pick. For Mr. Damani HD, our honorary guest, he went with Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, there's a shocker, Eric Jones, Jimmy Johnson, another shocker, and rookie Tyler Reddick. With Nick, he chose Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, Eric Almirola, and old Dibby, Matt DiBenedetto. And I finally went and chose Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, William Byron, Alex Bowman, and Christopher Bell. So for the results, Nick absolutely waxed our asses this week with his 5 drivers. He obviously had Denny Hamlin, who won. He had Chris Buescher running in 3rd. In fact, all of his picks finished inside the top 22, it appears. Eric Almirola was his worst finisher. Well, unfortunately, we didn't do so hot. I came in 2nd with 91 points. Tyler was 3rd with 88 points, but because he picked Denny Hamlin in the Clash, he gets an extra 10 bonus points, so he actually comes home in 2nd. And then Damani didn't even show up. He only earned 54 points. A pretty rough performance for him this week. That's pretty much it. It's obviously 1 race into the season. That's pretty much what the standings are.
Absolutely. So we head on to Las Vegas. We'll see how our teams do there.
Well, that has been another episode of Behind the Wall presented by presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Gonna have to get used to that. Our first episode of the 2020 season is in the bag. We hope you enjoy it. For Damani HD, who once again could not make it, man, when has he ever made it, honestly?
A couple times.
That's true. For Thermite 917, who, like most of the drivers in the Daytona 500, stumbled his way through this podcast. and for Pro Bowl 43, thanks for the new sponsor. I don't know what I'd do without it. And for myself, Kane Jr. 88, this has been another episode of Behind the Wall. You've been behind the wall, and thank you for listening.
That was damn it. There we go. 2020, guys.
And we're off to a great start.
You know it. Always got to have at least one of those. I'm glad it came in the first part. Yeah! Damn it.
Obviously, they don't. I'm not even going to mention it. They use plates still. Damn it. Who cares?
I know one thing's for sure though. Dale Jr. is going to be one happy man. He's going to collect all those damn cars and put them in his graveyard.
I was gonna say, I'm like, was there a point to that? I kind of missed it. It went right over my head. But I was figuring, I'm like, Dale Jr. is already a happy man. I mean, he's a sexy son of a bitch with a sexy wife. Woman, fix me a sandwich.
Exactly.
And then run down to Trevor Bain's coffee shop and get me some coffee.
All right, moving on to the motherfucker.
Man, Nick, when did you start swearing so much?
Oh, you fumbling bitch! Oh, sorry. Happy Thanksgiving. It's a beach turkey.
He finished 7th in that old Larry's Hard Lemonade. Or, you know what? Screw it. I can't mention that. We're sponsored by another even better hard lemonade. Fuck it. I'll just say it.
Damn, I was like, damn right. Don't even think about promoting another lemonade here, mister.
You know, I might just restart that for that, you know.
Well, it's still going in regardless. It's going to be an outtake.
Okay. Right.
But we have one final award to give out. We can't forget this one. Who does it go to?
Oh, it's the Crying Towel, Nick.
Hold on, let me restart that. Son of a bitch.
Do we need to add a third boner of the week?
I think so.
Because you got a raging hard on for fucking up.
I don't know why I'm the most rusty out of us, but that's just how it ended up being. I'm a Rusty Wallace.
I was gonna say something about Rusty Wallace. I'm glad you did right there. Duraflame.
Not a Bubba Wallace. Just
I saw he was with his squeeze this weekend. Oh, I bet he was putting it down.
Where did he put it down?
in her purse.
And we have with that Front Row Motorsports Select Blinds paint scheme. What, Dad? What you doing? Hi, man.
What the hell is that?
I just glance over and he's slowly closing my door.
He's probably telling you to shut up.
Yeah, I know, that was kind of creepy.
You're being too loud, son, but I'm going to go ahead and close the door while staring at you and telling you that I'm disappointed in you. Hi, Dad! Hey, man!
Oh, man.
Hey, you guys!
Oh, man. I went off the rails there.
And you should do the ally card, Nick.
Alright.
Can let you have that wonderful piece of ass that's ass.
I'd like a wonderful piece of ass, but that's not it.
I understand. Yes, you would.
Let's enjoy the montage, guys. And you at home.
Whoa! Wow! That
wasn't a mess up, I'm just saying.
Well, I might just have to include that in the outtakes. And you at home. Jeez.
Alright, and then worst? Yeah.